Hello guys. In this lecture, we are going to see some of the devices which are made up of semiconducting material. First is Zener diode. If in PN diode we measure the currents for increasing the value of reverse voltage, a point would come where the diode would suddenly start to conduct a large current. As you can see in this figure, VI characteristics of a diode, the current is increasing suddenly here as well as in the reverse bias. The voltage at which this occurs is called breakdown voltage. You can see in the reverse bias, this current is increasing at that instant that whatever the voltage is appear across the diode, that voltage is called as breakdown voltage and indicating with the VBR. The value of breakdown voltage like turn on voltage depending on diode material. Some diodes are designed to utilize their breakdown characteristics. They are called Zener diodes. In these diodes, the reverse breakdown the reverse breakdown current will increase rapidly over a small range of reverse voltage. Therefore, they are used in reverse bias in voltage regulator circuits and voltage reference circuit because of their ability to maintain a nearly constant voltage over a wide range of reverse current. The breakdown voltage VBR is often referred to the Zener voltage V in the suffix Z, Vz. Now, what is the reverse breakdown? The process which causes the large reverse current to flow is called breakdown. There are two different processes which can lead to breakdown that are nothing but Zener breakdown and avalanche breakdown. When the applied reverse voltage produces a sufficient large electric field across the junction, some of the covalent bonds are ruptured owing to this electric field, and large number of holes and electrons is produced in the crystal. The holes and electrons are responsible for the rapid increase in the saturation current. This phenomenon is called as Zener breakdown. When the applied voltage is large enough to accelerate minority charge carriers to gain sufficient energy, then some of the covalent bonds are broken owing to collision of these accelerated charge carriers with the atoms. The large number of holes and electrons thus produced is responsible for the rapid increase in saturation current. This type of breakdown is known as avalanche breakdown. Now let's see the illuminated PN junction. Some PN junction devices are designed to operate when illuminated, such as photodetector or photodiode and solar cell. They are both quite different in the way they are used because the photodetector is designed to detect the light, whereas the solar cell is designed to generate the power. When the PN junction is illustrated or illuminated, major and minority carriers are optically generated in the N side and P side. The minority carriers so created are swept across the depletion layer by drift, and provided they are generated within a diffusion length of depletion region. A large reverse saturation current can be produced by this means. The optically generated carriers are called excess carriers, and extra to those generate the thermally. And this figure shows the VI characteristics of PN junction under dark condition, light condition, and showing how increasing the illumination level increase the reverse saturation current. As as shown in the here figure, in the reverse bias, the dark condition having a less current, as the illumination increasing, the current going to increase with respect to illumination. Next is photodetectors. The photodetectors are light detectors. They are operated in reverse bias and utilize the increasing reverse current of VI characteristics. In circuit terms, photodetectors are thought of as light dependent resistors because the resistance in the reverse bias decreases as the light intensity hitting the junction increases. Photodetectors are housed in a mounting which has transparent window. The junction area is large to maximize the number of photons hitting the surface. The junction is close to the surface, and a common design requirement is the deposition of anti-reflection coating on semiconductor surface to increase the number of photons which are absorbed by the diode. And this figure shows here a basic PIN photodetector structure. This is the P-type layer, this is N-type layer, and middle one is a wide insulating layer, and this is enclosed with the electrode and the base metal electrode. Let's say solar cells. Solar cells use the VI characteristics of PN junction in the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, as shown here, the VI characteristics of solar cell is the first quadrant, second, third, and fourth. So it is operating in the PN junction diode of solar. PN junction of solar cell is working in fourth quadrant. It means fourth quadrant means current in reverse, that is minus negative, and the voltage is positive value. Power being I and V, I into V. If I is negative and V is positive, it means the power from a generator. The characteristics of solar cell is shown here with the fourth quadrant, which is operating in fourth quadrant, and its structure is also shown here with the incident photons P region, N region, and the anti-reflected coatings on their incident photons. And this is the side view, and this showing a top view. The important design consideration of the solar cell include the band gap to allow absorption of suitable wavelengths, large surface area to allow many photons to be absorbed, and junction must be close to the surface, and semiconductor surface should be coated with an anti-reflection coating. Individual solar cells are not capable of delivering enough power for most purpose. So they are commonly used in the form of large arrays of cells connected together. Next is light emitting diodes. Light emitting diodes gives out light energy. This figure shows gives a schematic symbol. This is the schematic symbol of LED, and as electrons of the LED cross the junction, they combine with the holes. This changes their status from one energy level to lower energy level. The extra energy they had as free electrons must be released. Some of the excess energy is given off as a heat, some is given off as a light. Special materials such as gallium arsenide and gallium phosphide are used to make the LEDs. Light emitting diodes are rugged, small, and very long life. They can switch rapidly. LED has wide application as numerical display used to indicate the numbers 0 through 9. These displays are common in pocket calculators, at airport and railway stations, etc. It is now possible to fabricate LEDs with wavelengths extending right through the visible spectrum from red to violet by using compound semiconductors and allowing them together in different proportions. Red LEDs are commonly made of gallium arsenide phosphide. Gallium arsenide phosphide. Now, this figure here shows a sketch of simple LED with the P region, N region. When the LED is forward biased, a large number of diffusion electrons will be injected from N side into the P plus side here. N side to P plus side. Where the density of the hole is very large and considerable combination is obtained in this way, and photons will be emitted from junction region. The N positive layer, this N positive layer in the LED shown is there to give a good electrical contact with the bottom electrode. And the last one, laser diode. In LED emission is spontaneous because there is no control over the recombination of electrons and holes. Electrons are excited into the conduction band at any time and recombine spontaneously. If we control the carriers such that there are more electrons waiting to recombine than electrons waiting to be excited at any one time, that phenomena called as population inversion. Then arrange for a recombination of all these simultaneously, it will produce a more intense beam of emitted light. This is what happens in a laser diode. This name is derived from height amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. In the laser diode, the excited electrons are stimulated to recombine simultaneously and produce an intense beam of photons of the same wavelength. Some of these photons are then reflected back through the device to generate more electron hole pairs, which combine to produce more light, and which is reflected back through the device, and so on. In a laser, the reflection of photons back and forth through the device produces the amplification of emitted light. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much.